Dakota is my third child. I was high risk already from my other two pregnancies. And when I went to one of my ultrasounds is when they found out that she was going to be born with a heart condition. Once she was born, July 6th, 2015, she came out screaming. She came out, she had all odds against her, and she actually came out better than what they thought initially. 8 days in, she had her first open heart surgery, and the real problems began. So we ended up spending the first 6 months of her life in the hospital. Fast forward to 2020, she was at the time 4 years old when she was admitted. We had her checkup. They said, we're gonna go ahead and admit her and put her on the top of the transplant list as her heart was declining. She ended up getting an offer on September 23rd, 2020. And they did the transplant actually early morning of the 24th. Dr. Razzouk was amazing. When Dr. Razzouk came into the room, he explained what was going to happen during the surgery, during the transplant, and he said it's in God's hands. And he's asked if he could pray with us, and that was the best thing that Dr. Razzouk could have ever did, was prayed with us, because it let me know that he was going to allow God to guide him when he opened my daughter up. I remember one time me and my mom walked into, I think it was shift change, and we saw all of the nurses praying. And that was confirmation, hearing that you pray with your patients before surgery and seeing them pray. Don't want to cry. When they told me that you were going to be the surgeon, I was excited. I was like, God has definitely aligned this.
I think the prayer part of the conversation with patients and families is a natural thing. And I think a prayer can address the mental as well as the spiritual needs of patients and redirect them to the Almighty, who is the source of all healing. Through His grace and mercy, she got a new heart. And look at her. She's just full of energy. You feeling well, sweetie? Mm-hmm. Yeah? You able to run and play with your friends?
Yeah.
And that's been...
happy.
And happy. Good for you.
The surgery went really well. And Dr. Razzouk said it was a perfect fit. It was a perfect match. It beat immediately. It was right for her. She's doing absolutely amazing. She has enough blood flow, enough oxygen that sustains her energy and definitely keeps us all on our toes. And what would the world be without her?
My strong conviction in the power of prayer is a personal one. Before I was born, my dad had a major head injury. He was in a coma for weeks. In fact, the medical professionals pronounced him brain dead. The people in the village, they dug his grave. There happened to be a missionary couple there in the village who prayed with my mom repeatedly throughout that crisis. And it was during one of those prayer sessions that my father, who was 20 miles away in hospital, started to show signs of life. He went on to live over 45 years beyond that event. And then I witnessed my parents regularly kneeling down by the bedside, praying regularly. I finished college, and it was the time of the civil war in Lebanon. One time I found myself taking shelter in my uncle's shop under a counter while the bombs were exploding in the area. And there was debris and glass all over, bullets flying. I said a silent prayer at the time. My life was spared. Some of my classmates, some of my family, cousins were not, their lives were not spared. So prayer is a personal thing for me. Then, as a physician and surgeon caring for children, newborn babies, adults with heart disease, meeting families with a lot of stress, anxiety, anguish about their conditions, I learned that there's very little that you can offer those families that is as powerful as prayer. Because that's about the only thing that replaces fear and anxiety with peace and hope.